The Toyota A90 Supra, arguably one of the most exciting and influential sports cars of the early 2020s. A car that came with much controversy when it was first rolled off the factory line, and a car that has stood the test of time over many decades, and with this A90 generation has grown to be loved by many enthusiasts all over the world. The current A90 Supra is powered by a B58 3-liter straight-six engine that produces around 382 horsepower and torque in the mid-300s. I believe that it is safe to say that it is an exceptional sports car, not only from a chassis development standpoint, but from the way that it handles to the way that the engine and the gearbox deliver power overall. Over the years, now that we're in 2024, we've gotten a number of Toyota Supra variants that have come to the market featuring small little details such as more carbon fiber, little anniversary touches that add decals or certain exclusive paint colors, but truthfully, nothing all that substantial, nothing that really strays away from the A90's original formula and really gives us something more to ooh and ah at in regard to the performance of the vehicle. This might be changing though with the advent of the Toyota Supra GRMN. Now that we are nearing the end of the vehicle's production phase, we know that the Gazoo Racing Meister of Nurburgring, the most hardcore track-focused variant of the A90 Supra, is in development. And in today's video, I want to lay out the case for why the S58 engine would be the perfect pairing for this hardcore track-focused Supra, and why I think there is a small sliver of hope that we may actually see this engine get stuffed into the A90 Supra and come to the market. BMW's S58 engine is a 3-liter twin turbocharged straight-six engine. It's got a forged bottom end, it's got a track-focused oil sump, air-to-water intercooling, dual high-pressure fuel pumps. It's got an advanced cylinder head design with 3D printed casting. And from an engineering standpoint, it truly is a wonderful engine, and it is an absolute marvel to behold because of how much power it can produce. In its base form, the engine outputs around 473 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. In the competition BMW M models, this number gets upped to well over 500 horsepower and torque in the mid-400s. But we know that with aftermarket tuning, and let me tell you, there is a lot of aftermarket potential for this particular engine, we can see power figures well into the 700, 800, 900, and even 1,000 horsepower mark. The current A90 Supra has already been designed from the ground up to utilize BMW architecture, not only from the chassis of the Supra itself, but from the suspension design, the differential, the gearbox, the engine itself. It's already designed to house a turbocharged inline six. Even the gauge cluster and infotainment systems are all sourced and supplied from BMW. So in regard to an actual feasibility standpoint of implementing an S58 engine, it is absolutely doable, and we can absolutely see this happen if the so-called engineers at BMW M and Toyota GR were to work out some sort of partnership or some sort of deal to bring an S58 engine to the Supra. Not only that, if we did see an S58 in the Supra itself for the GRMN, it would be an absolute force to be reckoned with. High power production, twin turbocharged straight six, perfect for track use, hence the GRMN Supra. Transplant the existing ZF8 automatic gearbox over to the Supra, add the BMW M sourced 6-piston Brembo brakes with the cross-drilled 2-piece rotors to the vehicle as well. Add a carbon fiber roof. Toyota could bring Aero, or a slightly dumbed down version of Aero from the Supra GT4 Evo race car, to the GRMN and give it a proper limited slip differential, and you'd have an absolute weapon of a track car from the factory that would not only sell out in terms of overall demand in the consumer market, but could also yield a relatively high price tag and generate a lot of profit for both companies. Now, I already know that a lot of people are going to say there's no way this is going to happen. BMW would never give out their S-powered, engines to another manufacturer, and there is definitely a lot of truth to that. Why would BMW, at the end of the day, hand over their flagship motorsport-derived powertrain to another manufacturer in the Supra, which arguably has a superior chassis than even some of BMW M's own cars? If you look at the Supra, it's lighter in weight, it has a lower roofline, a better drag coefficient than a car like an M3 or an M4, even the M2. And so in many regards, this could actually overshadow BMW M's own vehicles in their own lineup. So the chances of it are not that high, but BMW has been known to actually hand over their M engines to other manufacturers. And we've seen this with the Range Rover Sport SV and the Land Rover Defender Octa. Both of these vehicles, although they are in completely different segments that stray away from sports cars, feature BMW's S63 or S68 engine, I believe, 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 power plant, which we've seen in cars like the X5M competition and the new XM as well, and then the S58 will soon be in the G90 M5 sedan. So it's not totally unheard of for BMW to hand over what would normally be considered a bespoke M power plant to another manufacturer. Prior to that, it had only ever really happened with the McLaren F1 and the S70 naturally aspirated V12. Can it happen with the Supra? I would like to hope and cling on to that hope very heavily with my fingers crossed and say that it would happen, because I think it would make for such an incredible car. If you just take essentially the current M components that make up an existing M car, but transfer it over to a more track-focused version of the Supra, you have an absolute weapon that will be a force to be reckoned with on track, and I think would serve as the perfect send-off to this generation of the A90 Supra. With all that being said, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in as always. If you could go ahead and leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel down below if you are new here. I would love to also hear your comments in the comment section down below, so go ahead and write out your thoughts. Let's spark up a discussion. What do you guys actually think is going to ultimately be the final form of the A90 GRMN Supra? What are we going to see? Let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.